We all know Disney's putting all its hopes into Deadpool and Wolverine as their big MCU hit for 2024. But behind the scenes, there's way more drama than they're letting on. Ryan Reynolds is furious with Disney, and it all boils down to a controversial twist that could completely change the Wolverine we know. Imagine a multiverse Wolverine facing off against a gender-swapped Wolverine. Yep, Disney's pushing to bring her into the director's cut, and Ryan's already fighting to keep it out. But why is Disney so determined to make this happen? And could this be the last straw for Reynolds, forcing him to walk away from the MCU altogether? Let's dive into why this battle over Deadpool and Wolverine might reshape Marvel's future, and see if Ryan Reynolds can truly stand up to Disney's plans. It's no secret that Deadpool and Wolverine is shaping up to be Disney's biggest and only MCU movie for 2024, with other releases stalled or delayed mostly due to the writer's strike and the ongoing SAG issues in 2023. Disney's counting on this one film to carry a lot of weight. And when it comes to what's in store for 2025, things don't look too promising, especially with Marvel Studios staring down a series of potential missteps. From production setbacks on Captain America 4 to tension surrounding the upcoming Blade movie, it's clear there's some turbulence behind the scenes. The excitement around Deadpool and Wolverine, though, is real, especially considering how well received the trailers have been. Fans were immediately hooked by the quality and feel of those teasers. Arguably, they were more entertaining than anything Marvel released recently, apart from maybe Loki Season 2. Credit goes to Ryan Reynolds, director Sean Levy, and writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who gained a lot of creative freedom with the marketing approach. The result? Trailers that felt like pure, unfiltered entertainment. But despite this public excitement, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. Disney itself is struggling through a lot of internal issues, with every department feeling the pressure of CEO Bob Iger's cost-cutting measures, and Deadpool and Wolverine hasn't escaped that turbulence. Drama around the project is mounting, and in some ways the situation seems to be getting more complicated. One major twist now impacting Deadpool and Wolverine centers around Ryan Reynolds himself, and his ongoing struggle with Disney executives, particularly Bob Iger and Kevin Feige. Recently, both Iger and Feige have committed to bringing back a previously scrapped storyline, one that would introduce a gender-swapped Wolverine character. This character, codenamed Wolverine, was initially cut from the film's theatrical version, but now Disney executives are pushing hard to resurrect the character in an upcoming director's cut for the movie. Originally, the deleted scene depicted a fierce showdown between Wolverine and Wolverine, where Wolverina, a version of Wolverine from another universe, would ultimately defeat him. This sequence was scrapped by Ryan Reynolds and director Sean Levy, who felt it didn't fit with the film's intended narrative or tone. But despite their choice to leave it out of the theatrical release, Iger and Feige are pressing forward with plans to include the scene in a longer director's cut version of the movie. This new cut, which Levy aims to release around the holiday season, is expected to contain over 30 minutes of extra footage. What's raising eyebrows among fans and industry insiders is that Wolverina's character is reportedly tied to Cassandra Nova. With Wolverine portrayed as a relentless female variant of Wolverine, she hunts down other versions of Wolverine across the multiverse. This decision by Feige seems rooted in a strategy to spotlight another powerful female character, but this direction hasn't sat well with everyone involved. Reynolds, Levy, and writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick have all expressed reservations about the creative choice, seeing it as forced and unnecessary. Even Hugh Jackman reportedly shared his concerns. The character of Wolverine was added more as a powerful standalone figure than for a natural progression in the storyline. In this latest development, the push to introduce a gender-swapped Wolverine character, Wolverine, has escalated as Disney's executives Bob Iger and Kevin Feige forge ahead with their plans. They intend to include 3 pivotal scenes in the Deadpool and Wolverine director's cut, all featuring Wolverine in intense combat. In these scenes, she faces off against Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and at one point even kills another Wolverine. Rumors suggest this alternate Wolverine is played by a well-known actor, not Henry Cavill, who is still lined up to portray yet another variant of Wolverine in the theatrical release. Despite resistance from both Ryan Reynolds and director Sean Levy, Iger and Feige are pushing ahead without hesitation. They aim to leverage Wolverina's character not only as part of the film, but as a key marketing tool to draw attention to the director's cut, scheduled to feature over 30 minutes of additional footage. Moreover, they plan to incorporate Wolverine into upcoming projects, including the animated series X-Men '97, using the multiverse storyline to introduce her to a broader audience in both film and animation. This decision has caused significant tension between Disney and Reynolds, who is reportedly voicing strong opposition to the idea. Reynolds and Levy are said to be raising hell over Disney's determination to proceed with these changes. For Reynolds, this decision challenges his vision for Deadpool 3, and he's now reportedly reconsidering his commitment to the project due to his belief that Deadpool and Wolverine isn't a true continuation of the Deadpool series. This disagreement marks an increasingly heated dispute between Disney executives and the creative minds behind the film, with Reynolds unwilling to compromise on what he feels is essential to the integrity of his character and the storyline. It's important to note that Deadpool and Wolverine isn't officially regarded as the third Deadpool film. According to director Shawn Levy, this film stands alone as a spin-off rather than a conclusion to the trilogy with a true third movie planned afterward. Disney's executives, however, face challenges as they've had to balance accommodating the creative team's demands with pushing some of their own directives. Ryan Reynolds and Shawn Levy have already made significant headway pushing Disney to greenlight a hard R rating for this installment, which isn't typical for the MCU. But even with this victory, Disney has made cuts to scenes that were deemed overly intense, like Wolverine's violent flashbacks to World War II, World War I, and other historical wars, which were removed by Bob Iger and Kevin Feige. A key point of contention remains the introduction of the character Wolverine, who Disney created to bring a new twist to Wolverine's legacy. It's important to clarify that Wolverina is distinct from characters like Lady Deathstrike or X-23. Lady Deathstrike, a fan favorite, will reportedly make an appearance thanks to Levy's insistence on staying true to established characters. Wolverine, however, was introduced by Disney under Kevin Feige's guidance, loosely inspired by a parody comic of the same name from years back with a backstory crafted for this movie's multiverse theme. The tension between Reynolds and Disney seems to be escalating, as Reynolds has now allegedly issued a serious warning if Disney keeps enforcing changes that stray from his and Levy's vision. He's prepared to walk away from Avengers: Secret Wars. Furthermore, he's been working to persuade Hugh Jackman to follow suit. Although Reynolds and his team have succeeded in pushing back against certain elements they feel overemphasize Disney's DEI agenda, this push for Wolverine could be a setback in their struggle to retain creative control over the film. This back and forth underscores the ongoing friction, with both sides standing firm on their goals for the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, making it clear that the battle for control over the film's direction is far from over. It's impressive to see actors like Henry Cavill and Ryan Reynolds taking strong stances against major studios, refusing to compromise on their vision for the projects they're passionate about. Ryan Reynolds is in the thick of it with Disney over Deadpool and Wolverine, while Cavill is dealing with similar issues within the Warhammer 40K franchise. Despite Cavill's excitement and commitment to Deadpool and Wolverine, it's been reported that Disney recently cut down his screen time as a Wolverine variant. This decision reportedly followed a test screening where Disney felt Cavill's performance didn't meet their expectations in certain scenes. Moves like this only raise more questions about Disney's influence on creative choices, especially as they manage large budgets and ambitious releases. The stakes are high for Deadpool and Wolverine given its substantial budget and the expectations for it to perform well at the box office this July. Yet we're seeing a familiar pattern from Disney, particularly under the guidance of Bob Iger and Kevin Feige, persistent drive to infuse their projects with certain creative agendas. Whether it's with Marvel, Star Wars, or Disney live-action films, while sometimes it appears they might be pulling back in response to fan feedback, many suspect this is merely a strategy to appease audiences without real lasting change. So what are your thoughts? Do you think Ryan Reynolds and Henry Cavill are justified in challenging Disney's approach? Drop your comments below, and if you enjoyed today's discussion, let's keep the conversation going. I'm looking forward to hearing your take on this unfolding drama.